2 years ago, a wave of nationwide protests against police brutality was quieted by a night of shooting at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital. Judicial panels of inquiry were set up, compensation packages were announced, and everything seemed to return to normal. But are young people free from police brutality today? Have victims been truly compensated, as glowingly announced in the media? I have been seeking for answers. It's been 2 years since EndSARS protests rocked and rattled Nigeria. Demonstrators in Lagos, Abuja and other key Nigerian cities turned out in large numbers, demanding police reforms and the disbandment of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. That unit no longer exists, but calls for better policing have not changed. Protesters are back here at Lekki toll gate, the epicenter of the protests in Lagos, and their demands remain the same.
Some men came here and shot at us. People were killed. Nobody has been punished. There has been no justice.
This call for justice resonates with Lagos resident Femi Adisa. He says he was profiled and labeled an internet fraudster for sporting a beard by policemen on Monday, the 17th of October.
They said, why am I not to release my phone? That means I'm a Yahoo boy. And I told them, no, I'm not a Yahoo boy. So the next thing they did is they told me I'm arguing with them, something like that. So they just slapped me like that without doing anything. I said, why would you do such a thing? Why would you slap me even without doing anything? And one of them said, you are not a Yahoo boy and you are keeping beers. And I told him, sir, is it a crime for me to keep beer? Because I'm not a Yahoo boy. So does that mean keeping beer? Does that mean I'm a Yahoo boy? He said, you don't know what you are talking about. Another slap again, that if they slap me, that I will release my phone.
Police spokesperson Muyo Adejobi has a large following of young Nigerians on social media. He's been quoted several times saying police officers have no right searching young people's phones during random police stops.
Even if you want to arrest a Yahoo boy, it's not done on the road. Many of them that arrest these boys, that encounter these boys, they are not trained to know anything on cybercrime and whatever. Why can't you arrest them and hand them over to our specialized units? We have specialized units in the police that can profile them. The law permits us to profile.
This frosty relationship between the police and young Nigerians like Femi birthed the EndSARS movement. 2 years after, has anything really changed?
I don't feel safer now because almost everything that happened then is still happening now.
It's not like they don't do it anymore. They still do it. They are still the same people, the same uniform, the same office.
Today, I think we are free. We are better than before.
Now you can say to some extent it's relatively safe to deal with police.
Nigerians feel more comfortable with us because we have made policing more accessible, more proactive, more civil.
You talk about relationship between the police and the people. I don't think it has changed.
Following the widespread reports of police brutality before and during the protests, panels of inquiry like this one were set up nationwide. The Lagos panel awarded the sum of 10 million naira to Kolade Johnson's family in June 2021. That compensation was confirmed when Gist Nigeria reached out last year. The killer cop has also been sentenced to life imprisonment. Kolade's family now have a sense of closure, but hundreds more await with bated breath.
We can't keep on asking people to air their pain over and over again without answers.
Obianuju Iloanya and her family have been waiting for over 10 years. Her younger brother Chijioke was arrested by police officers in Anambra State, southeast Nigeria in 2012. He was handed over to defunct SARS operatives in Okuzu. He has not returned home since then.
People who have moved on with their lives, mothers, sisters, fathers, you see old men with their king, they came to come and beg and write petition and paid lawyers, and pro bono lawyers flew in from different parts of Nigeria out of their goodwill, and in the end nothing to show for it.
We sought answers from the Anambra State Commissioner for Information, but he was yet to get back as at the time of filing this report. Life has not been the same for the Isiaq family since 2020. Their son, Jimoh, was a bystander at one of the protests in Oyo, southwest Nigeria, when he was allegedly shot by policemen. His photo soon became a symbol of the EndSARS struggle online and offline.
So before oṣù mẹ́rin àti nǹkan kan láfi ṣe náà fi pè wá fún Ìbàdàn tá ń lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ àti gbá yẹn àgbọ̀n nǹkan kan mọ́. Mo mọ ẹni tó yìnbọn pa ọmọ mi mo mọ̀ ní bẹ ní police station bí Lówódé police station bí lọ́wà.
We reached out to the Oyo State Commissioner for information but did not get a response as at Wednesday, the 26th of October 2022. Chijioke and Jimoh's stories typify the long and hard road to justice for victims of police violence. After security authorities forcefully quashed the EndSARS protest in 2020, police officers were not spared in the carnage that ensued. Dozens of police officers were killed with many formations and barracks razed down.
I'm sure the most reports have been released and what have you. So I don't like to discuss what the panel has done. I know many recommendations have been given on both sides, even to the police family too, and to those that felt the heat on the other side.
Thousands of protesters were arrested across the country during and after the demonstrations. Global rights movement Amnesty International says many have been released, but dozens more are still in detention.
Normally, you would expect to see something like disturbing the peace or causing riot or things like that, but some were even accused of armed robbery, stealing, offenses that you would not ordinarily think it's as a result of the protest, which made it harder for them to be tracked.
Those are still being in custody now, that to the best of my knowledge are those that were arrested for one criminal offense or the other. Arson. Arson means setting ablaze property unlawfully or willfully. They were arrested for arson, or arrested for stolen property, or arrested for murder. Some arrested for cannibalism in Oyo, that killed policemen, roasted policemen, and started eating policemen. So those that I know that have been arrested so far, that have been charged to court, are facing their trial in court. We won't say those ones are protesters, no.
The relationship between the police and young Nigerians does not seem to have progressed 2 years after the EndSARS movement ended. Social media is daily littered with reports of assault and extortion by policemen. Police authorities have sanctioned some culpable officers, but the mistrust continues to deepen.
You can't see a police force of, where you can see young, passionate people when the leadership itself is found wanting. So once the leadership can be accountable and can be transparent, you can have an attorney general that really pursues the interests of the people and not the person who appointed him. Then you will now see that it is easier for that attorney general, for instance, to hold accountable the heads of the security, hold accountable the law enforcement agencies.
The other thing is the curriculum needs to change. It needs to be focused more on human rights compliance policing. Human rights shouldn't just be a module that is included, but rather should be mainstream throughout all the courses, from the time of arrest, investigation, prosecution, also in terms of how they conduct themselves.
While calls for police reforms intensify, victims of police brutality and their families wait for justice. Justice that cannot come soon enough.